We're back. We're on page 280 now, kids. Okay. There's some hard ones in here, okay? I'm just warning you. Let's do the number one. Because that one's not that hard, but it's not super easy either. It goes like this. And first, let's just make that look prettier. Okay. Find the area. Well, you've got to find out what this rectangle that it's a part of is. So let's go this distance right here, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5. There are 5 squares, people. Just because this one gets chopped off in height, we don't care. You're just looking at the line. That's 5. And it is 1.5 tall. So we're going to do 5 times 1.5. That gets us this part, and we'll take half of it. Well, 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times a half is half of 5, so that's 2.5. That gets me 7.5. I got to take half of 7.5. That's 3 3/4. Okay, 3 3/4 square centimeters. Let's check the book, make sure I'm not lying to you. I got it right. Look at that. Okay, let's do the next one. All right. Oh yeah, this one, now they're getting obnoxious pretty fast on you right here. Yeah, they are. Okay, so first step, don't call all the way. We're gonna break this up into pieces. I'm gonna drop a line in my head like that, or maybe even on my page. You could even draw it yourself. So now from there over is 1, 2, 3, 4. And how many tall? 2.5 tall. Okay? 1, 2, and it goes up half of a square. Don't think of the distance this way, like, oh, but it only makes 1/4 of a square. No, we don't care about the area right now. We're just talking about the distance of this line. That's the part that messes kids up. So it's 4 by 2.5. So I know that 4 times 2.5 is 10, just because I remembered that in life. That's a good thing to know how to do. 4 times 2.5 is 10. All right, now this sucker. We got to find out this rectangle. So it is a, how much over here? Yep, it goes over by 1, and it goes up, well, we already said it's up 2.5. So 1 times 2.5 is this whole thing. Well, 1 times 2.5 is just 2.5. So we got to take a half of 2.5 to know what this area is. Well, half of 2 is 1, and a half of a half is 1/4. Oh, look how fast he did that in his head. Anytime you take half of a fraction, you just double the denominator. It's beautiful. Half of a third is a 1/6. Half of a 21st is a 42nd. Amazing, the things you learn. To find the area, though, you got to put them together, and you get 11 1/4 square centimeters. And I'm not even going to look at the book because I just know I'm right. Wow. That is confidence. All right. Let's go to the third one. All right, this looks easy. All right, it's 3 tall. That's easy. And how far this way? 1, 2, 3, 4.5 this way. Yeah, I know some of you thought, is that really a half? Yes, it's a half. Okay, get over yourself. So it's 3 times 4.5. That would give us this big one, and we'll just take half of it. 3 times 4, that sounds like 12 to me. 3 times a half is 1.5. 13.5. That's the answer. Are you really? No. Oh yeah, 13.5 is the area, the big one. We got to take half of 13.5. A little bit obnoxious. So half of 13 is 6.5. Half of a half is 1/4. Got to put 6.5 and 1/4 together. That's the same as 2/4 plus 1 more 1/4. It is 6 3/4 square centimeters. And now, number 4, the truly obnoxious one that earns somebody a spanking over there at the University of Chicago. Here we go. Let's do it. First of all, they're putting it in a weird orientation for you, just to be hard. That's just not cool. It's not cool. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna break it into 2 shapes. I'm gonna do that one there, and then I'm gonna and if you make those little sounds when you do the little dotted lines, it actually helps you do better math. It's been proved. Okay, let's do this one. So this distance, well, it starts at kind of the halfway point and ends in the halfway point, so it's 1. Like, dude, is he serious? Yeah, he is. Let me make this a dotted line so it's, you know, it's not really there. Okay, so this is 1. How tall is that sucker? 1, 2, 3.5. That's 3.5. Well, this is a rectangle, so this is really 1 times 3.5. That's 3.5. Okay, now we're down to this one. This is not seeming as hard. Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, it is. We got to do this distance from here to get to that base of that triangle. That starts, oh man, it's 1, 2, 2.5, because this stops at a halfway point. So it's 2.5 this way. And how many tall? 1, 2, 3.5. All right, now, oh, we already knew that. Now, to find this one, we have to do 2.5 times 3.5. Sorry, it's not fun. So let's do it. I'm gonna make it improper. So let's do 3.5 times 2.5. Can you see that? Sure you can. Let's make them improper. I like it. 2 times 3 is 6, 1 more is 7, so 7 halves times 2 times 2 is 4, 5 halves. So we get 35 divided by 4. How many 4s fit to 35? 8 of them do. 8 times 4 is 32, so there's 3 left over. 8 3/4. So this whole thing is 8 3/4. Don't put 8 3/4 as part of the answer. It's not part of the answer. You got to take half of that thing. Half of the 8 is 4. Half of 3/4. Did you remember my cue from a minute ago? Half of 3/4 is 3/8. You just double the pot, man. You got to pick up on these jewels. I'm giving them to you. They're like handing you wealth. And you not let it fall through your fingers. Sorry, it's getting passionate there. Okay, so we got 3.5 and 4 3/8. We got to put them together, and that is, well, that's the same as, let's make this guy 8. So 3 and that's 4/8, right? Because a half is the same as 4/8. So that should be 7 and 7/8. Did I get it right? Drop the mic. Oh wait. Forgot I was the teacher. I'm supposed to get it right. Okay, so 7 and 7/8. You heard it here, kids. If you didn't get that one right, well, you can still go to Harvard. It's going to be okay. All right, let's do the try thises. The try thises. I'm going to do sort of a blow up of this is. All right, so here's what you do. You're going to imagine you got this tube in the middle. That's just a rectangle. Do that one first. So that's going to be 1 by how tall? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5 tall. 1 times 5 is 5. This sucker's 5 right there. Now, this guy right here, this distance, that's a half. Well, I didn't draw it exactly, but don't be picky, okay? So it's a half, and it's still 5 tall. So we do a half times 5, right? Which is 2.5. This whole thing is 2.5, so this is gonna be 2.5, I gotta take half of 2.5, it's 1 and 1/4. That means this is the same. It's 1 and 1/4. They're the exact same looking shape. We put it all together and you get 5, 6, 7.5. Am I right? Yes, I am. Whew. It's good being right after a break. You know, sometimes your brain sort of shuts down and blood's not like bumping and stuff. Okay, last one for this bloody page. It's not terrible. It's not good, but it's not terrible. All right, this is the hardest. Well, I don't know. You tell me. Is this the hardest? Yeah, I lined it up. Good. So the way to think about this one is you're going to break it up into 2 rectangles like so. There's one. You're like, it looks more like a square in your drawing. Yeah, get over yourself, okay? Okay. So I'm going to figure out this piece. And I'm going to figure out this piece by taking a half there. Okay, you got it. Okay, so this is 2. The distance on the bottom is 2. How tall? 1, 2, 3.5. It's 3.5 tall. So 2 times 3.5 is, well, 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times a half is 1. So 6 and 1 is 7. The big thing is 7. So this little part of it is half of 7, which is 3.5. Is this one going to be the same? Let's see. What's this distance? It's easier to tell by looking at the top. It's 1, 2. And the height is also going to be the same thing. It's going to be 3.5. So guess what, kids? It's the same. It's 2 by 3.5. So it's going to be the same. This is going to be 3.5. So put them together, you get 7. Yes, we got it all. All right. Next page, 281. It's actually going to be easier because you've done some of these in the last unit. So go get them.